Today, we will be presenting information about the Dred Scott versus Sandford case in honor of Black History Month.
To begin with, some information on Dred Scott was that he was born into slavery around 1799, Southampton County, Virginia. In 1830, he moved with his owner, Peter Blow, to St. Louis, Missouri. And from 1833 to 1843, he resided in Illinois, a free state that was part of the Louisiana Territory, where slavery was abolished by the Missouri Compromise of 1820.
This posed such a strong question during the time: was Dred Scott free? The majority held that, quote, a Negro whose ancestors were imported into the U.S. and sold as slaves, end quote, whether enslaved or free, could not be an American citizen and therefore did not have standing to sue in federal court.
In April 1846, Dred filed lawsuits for freedom in the St. Louis Circuit Court against Irene Emerson based on two Missouri statutes. One statute allowed any person of color to sue for wrongful enslavement. The other stated that any person taken to a free territory automatically became free and could not be re-enslaved upon returning to a slave state.
So the Scots went to trial again in January 1850 and won their freedom. Irene appealed the case to the Missouri Supreme Court, which reversed the lower court's decision in 1852, making Dred Scott and his family enslaved once more.
In November 1853, Scott filed a federal lawsuit within the U.S. Circuit Court for the District of Missouri. By this time, Irene had transferred Scott and his family to her brother John Sandford. On May 15, 1854, the federal court heard Dred Scott v. Sandford and ruled against Scott, holding him and his family in slavery.
Throughout the case, Taney became best known for writing the final majority opinion in Dred Scott versus Sandford, which said that all people of African descent, free or enslaved, were not U.S. citizens and therefore had no rights to sue in a federal court. In addition, he wrote that the Fifth Amendment protected slave owner rights because enslaved workers were their legal property.
The Taney Court also argued that the Missouri Compromise was unconstitutional, which leads us to political consequences of the Dred Scott versus Sandford decision. Because of this, abolitionists saw this decision as a way to stop debate about slavery in the territories. Many grew frustrated as the Taney Court set back the progress that was being made for slaves due to outlawing the Missouri Compromise of 1820. So the divide between the North and the South grew. Dred Scott versus Sandford showed that the Missouri Compromise can no longer be used to keep balance between slave and free states and offset the domino effect that would later lead to the outbreak of the American Civil War. And to end on a positive note, we see that Dred Scott later wins his freedom. Irene, John Sandford's sister, married a congressman named Calvin Sheath, which was an abolitionist. She sold Scott to original owners that freed Scott and his family on May 26 of 1857, and Scott fortunately was found work as a porter in the St. Louis Hotel. We hope you learned more about the Dred Scott versus Sandford decision. Thank you.